started with 3 pieces of pine, and I just did it the length that I like. So that is all optional in what you want in the length that you would like. And here I'm just gonna sand everything down just so it's real nice and smooth. I used a higher grit sandpaper because you don't want it to be too gritty because this is brand new wood, so it wouldn't really be necessary to use a lower grit. Now this part is also in your preference. You can literally use any tool. You can use nails, you can use chains. All I'm doing is roughing this up because I don't want it to look like a brand new piece of wood. I want to look like it's old and it's been used. Now I'm just going to take that sanding block and go over it just one more final time. The damp rag, I'm just going to go over all of them and clean them up and get all the dust and the sanding off. You're going to want to pick the stain of your choice. I fast forward this so it looks like I'm going faster than I am. You don't want to go too fast because you don't want to cause air bubbles, so just take your time. You're going to want to put a glove on whichever hand you're using, or on both, it's up to you, and then get a rag ready because that's what we're going to be using. And as you can see, I'm just tapping the top and the bottom of the piece of wood because it was just kind of hard to go back and forth and the rag was getting stuck, and it was just a lot easier. And do not forget to put the lid back on whenever you are done, and then let this dry for a couple hours. And then here I just did half water and half paint and mixed it together really well. And then I went ahead and put a pair of gloves on and got a clean rag because we're going to repeat the same process that we did with the stain, except for this is going to be your preference. You're going to put as little or as much as you like on. If you're not sure, I recommend just starting doing it really light, letting it dry and seeing. I made all 3 of mine look just a teensy bit different. This way all 3 had their own character. I let it dry for just 30 minutes. It didn't take very long. And here I'm just pulling out the hardware that came with my dresser knob. I chose a wide one, as you can see, because I'm going to be placing an air plant in there, but you could also put hand towels or just get creative and put whatever you like. I'm just marking right where I'm going to want the hardware to go. That way it'll be easier for me when I start drilling. And then make sure you're using the right drill bit because you're going to want to drill a hole where you place those marks before we are able to screw the handles in. Now I'm just placing the handle right over the holes where I'm going to want to screw them in. I don't know why this skipped, but all I did, I placed it and then I put the screws behind and I used the electric screwdriver to just drill the holes in. Just want to add, I switched the bit to fit the screws that were placed behind these. You're going to want to get some twine or whatever you want to use to hang these. I'm using leather. I just liked how it looked. And then I'm just, as you can see, taking my stapler and stapling those in. And then I'm going to also be tying a knot, as you can see, just to secure it a little bit more, and then cutting off the ends. And that's it. We're done and we're ready to start hanging these. Now you're going to want to go back to the same bit. That way we can pre-drill a hole in the wall before we put the actual screw in. And this might have not been the best choice, but I am using it just to get a straight line. Again, I'm switching to the correct drill bit to fit the screw that I'll be screwing into the wall. And that's what I'm doing right here. And yay, I'm all ready to hang these. These came out so good. And as you can see, I placed my air plants in all 3 of them. I absolutely love these. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments. I would love to answer them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.